crypto pirates. Welcome to your Discourse Syndicate's FN Hangout. I am the captain, your captain, RG3. Still doing it, still here. Ain't it lovely? How's everybody doing on a Friday night? Some of us are doing better than others. We've got our boy Crypto Coffee out in Miami, partying it up and taking tablets to folks. Yes. Handing them out, making friends, and promoting the ecosystem that is True DeFi. Only one system that I know of that is True DeFi, and that is the Richard Heart ecosystem with Pulse, Hex, PulseX, and now ProveX. Zero knowledge proofs. Go ahead and take more middlemen and kick them to the curb, slash them, dash them, walk the plank, middlemen. It's over for you. DeFi is here. We are taking over, and it's up to us to go and do it. Let me say hello to everybody in the chat room. I hope you burned up lots of money, and you were part of that 16 million that went into sacrificing for ProveX. Remember, that's gone. You sacrificed for, well, political statement. What is that? For the let's see, what does it say on the side here? Just replace trust with math, right? That's what we do. We're replacing trust with math. And if you believe in it and you believe in True DeFi, you sacrificed your coins, your value, not your Hex, not your Pulse chain, and not your PulseX, but you sacrifice something of value for absolutely nothing, just to make a statement. I love that. I love that about this. We have no expectations. We've never had any expectations. And look, here we have it. True DeFi, because you supported it. All of you. You said it. You did it. So if you don't know, this is your stream. It's not mine. I just hit the button and bring you up. This is for everybody to come up here and talk, chit chat, bring up questions, bitch, moan, whine, complain, whatever you'd like to do in public. This is your stream to do so. The let's see. Let me put it's in the description. All the links and whatnot. You can go to Twitter. Let me see here. I think I got it right here. I'll put it in the chat. So if you'd like to join me, feel free to come on in. If not, that's okay too. We're going to keep it short and sweet. I'm a beat up old pirate. That's for damn sure. Let me say hello to everybody in the chat room now. Hex down under. Good day. Good morning, troops. Thankful to have not sold and grateful to be here. It's almost time. It is time. It is time to, what do they say? Cut hay? Something like that. Let's see. What's up, Peanut Butter Hexer? 3007. Hi to you too. Sandy Beach. My lady, thanks for coming and supporting us one night. Phillips Garage says, Pete, I do $1. Pete, I do $1. I think there's some big bets out there, right? We got some Zomian, some Eric Wall, and some people betting on whether Pete I will peg to $1. Now, remember, peg is different than hitting, right? Pegging is way different than hitting $1. Hey to you, Sandy. So anyway, Jonathan Kampala's Leo fam, what's up? Yep, you taking calls? Well, we don't take calls here. I should probably set that up. So we are going to be moving the studio. Yes, we are. We're moving the studio. All this fancy smancy stuff, all this equipment, it's all going to the Hive. And we're going to set up new streams because the R.S. Griffin Foundation is going to be doing panel discussions and talking about true DeFi and streaming more. Did you guys hear Richard Hart speak the other day? And he said we should all be out there streaming, talking about what we're doing. It's up to us. We are the ones doing the marketing. We are the ones out there getting the word out about true DeFi. If you want DeFi to survive, if you want DeFi to proliferate, if you want number to go up, then we've got to bring adoption. We've got to show people a better way to do crypto. While they're adding middlemen out there, politicians, treasuries, three-letter agencies, and money houses, and the banking system, and all of the other big name financial systems. Let's not forget that the United States owns a crap ton of, I think they got the biggest wallet now, right? The US Reserve has a Bitcoin. The Bitcoin Reserve is like one of the biggest ass wallets. I think it's the biggest wallet. So I may be wrong. I don't know. But yeah, they've given crypto away to all the people that they were trying to keep it from, all the people that they were trying to save you from. They've given it to them. They've taken over. They have usurped Bitcoin and have centralized the shit out of it and added middlemen everywhere. Hey, Street. Hey, if you guys want to stream, let me see your faces. Let me see your face real quick. You don't have to go on live. Just let me see you so that I can just tell you, not, like sitting there ready to do something stupid. Can you do that? There you go. All right, my man. You could turn it back off if you want. If you don't want anybody to see, I'm cool with that. We've had some, well, that doesn't mean I'm not going to still have them, but we've had some weirdos. All right. We got some folks dropping in, and let me pull everybody up. So we got Mr. Guru. What's happening, my man?
Hey, Captain. Good to see you. Good to hear from you.
Good to see you, man. And it's good to be around. Good to be seen and heard. Let's see. Let's bring up our buddy Max. Max, what's happening?
Hey, Ethereum's doing some interesting privacy stuff.
Yeah, it is. It's doing some interesting number go up stuff too. Where are we at today?
What are you talking about? It only went up to a few $100 from, a recent low.
Hey, that's moving in the right direction. Yeah. So what's happening tonight, fellas? What are you guys up to?
I love meditating on this stuff, full Mensa mode, and I love listening to you, Captain. I have a couple of ideas I want to shoot out to you. Yeah. I ran some how do I say this? I run a simulation of what possible outcomes could be for Pulse Chain, right? Mm-hmm. My guess is Pulse Chain is bigger than we all think it is, and it's going to revolutionize our entire economic system. But we cannot actually roll it out right now. So Richard Hart's buying time. That's my number one premise. I've worked in traditional finance, and the part of traditional finance I used to work in, we audited the banks. So the banks would give us their books and records. We would go through it, and we would use algorithmic software to do the accounting for these banks. Then we would send something called a NAV report, a net asset value report, to the government. But there was a lot of lying. Accountants, they're all CPAs, and they sign off on this stuff, and they use their algorithmic software. But nobody really audits the auditors. I don't know if you ever heard of these large four-letter companies like KPMG, SEI. But that's what I used to work for, and I used to hear rumblings in the back. Basically, they offer a suite of services, family office services, ultra high net worth individuals. What they do is they ensure that these folks stay wealthy. And I think, and I could be wrong, but I said this the last time, there's like a coalescing of the rich kind of getting gathered together, where the poor and the lower middle class are figuring out that the system doesn't work for them. And I think they're going to come together and fight against the wealthy. But I think somehow Chainlink or Oracles or some kind of maybe ProveX, is going to be the arbiter of truth, where you can't alter financial data forever. So I think Pulse Chain is going to be really tied to this. And I wanted to get your thoughts that eventually, probably in the next few years, the lower middle class and working poor are going to figure out that the system, probably the Epstein files, who knows, that all the wealthy and the bankers, they've manipulated money through technology. They've actually manipulated money. They've created hyperloop systems through LLCs, bankruptcy, and all kind of things to kind of work the system out. And somehow there has to be an immutable account for all financial dealings at some point. But I think Pulse Chain is too serious of a model to present now. And I think Richard Hart's buying time. And I think our audience, they're not fully aware of it. And so they're complaining. They want number to go up. They're thinking really small. What do you think about that?
Well, that's exactly what's been going on from the beginning, from the invention of Hex. When Hex came out, Richard checkmated Bitcoin. And for people not to understand what it is, take a deeper dive into it and go, oh, okay, this is a better way to do crypto other than Bitcoin, really was astonishing. It's obvious. It's obvious what's going on here. The gatekeeping, the powers that be, the money. Look at what they've done, and propping up this garbage that's Bitcoin, and I always take a lot of heat for talking bad about Bitcoin. I give Bitcoin its props, for being what it is. But they've taken it over, and we knew they were going to. We warned about it. We said there's a better way to do it. It's mind-boggling that people don't see that proof of stake is better than proof of work. That a coin that's never been hacked or had bugs is better than one that's had 3 of them. It's stupid not to know that there is mining pools out there that now all you got to do is take 1 or 2 of them and coordinate, and they can do a 51% attack. There's all kinds of pitfalls in the old way of doing crypto. And then on top of that, they've just completely centralized the whole thing. And they've done it under a guy from China who's been convicted of crimes, who is now working on robbing our treasuries. And people don't see it. People don't see what's going on out there. You don't see what this guy has just done with the Genius Act and the stablecoin proliferation that is about to happen. They are going to be able to put their hands in a bunch of cookie jars. And one of the cookie jars is the United States Treasury. And it's going to be ugly. It is going to be ugly. And we're going to be sitting here with DeFi. And when people finally do look at crypto and look, I've been around since 2014. I've been hoping for this stuff to come out like this. I've been hoping for decentralization, for real decentralization. As I watched everything centralized, as I watched everything, ICO and rip people off, and coin after coin after project rip people off and play the same old shell games that they've been playing for decades. Remember, and I'll say it again, there is nothing new under the sun. The FTX debacle is being set up again by CZ's done it once, he could do it again. If people don't understand what happened with that, FTX was, robbing Peter to pay Paul, doing the same stuff that Bernie Madoff did in the 70s and 80s, only he thought he was doing something new and special. He was taking people's money, giving them shit, telling them, hold on to your shit. Don't get rid of your shit, and I'll give you more shit. And CZ knew what he was doing because CZ knows the game. And he had the bigger bag, and he knew all he had to do was just threaten that he was going to sell, and boom, bank run, buy FTX, boom, buy competition, boom, go to jail, boom, now I'm still the big guy. And now he's doing it again. He's getting ready to do it again. And if you don't see it, you guys better start looking at it deeper, because we're in for another issue. Now, that doesn't mean that we're not going to have a bull run or things won't run up, number won't go up, but there's some big problems here. There's big issues here, and it goes a lot deeper this time than any of us ever thought. So I agree with you, man. There's some funky stuff going on right now.
So
So-
how is it
so
that, for the stablecoin stuff, are you referring to that the issuers of the stablecoin basically don't allow people to have any trustless interest, and that the holders of the treasuries, they get that interest? Like, why would that be such a big problem if CZ got a large portion of that?
Well, because he holds the biggest bag of USD1 coin. He's got the USD1 coin in his bag. And, I don't think he's a friend of the United States, to be honest. I don't think he's a friend of any of us either. I mean, look what he did to all the people that were in FTX. He knew what he was doing. He caused all that. He created that mess. Not that it wasn't also Sam's fault, but it was his fault too. He knew what he was up to. He knew what was going on. And he's just the one who pulled the covers on it. And it hurt a lot of people, but it was going to hurt people anyway. So it wasn't like he did it, but he's setting it up again. And we've got all the stuff going on in Venezuela. There's a lot of shit there to uncover and look at and see what's going on. There's reasons why things are being set up the way they're being set up. There's reasons why the Fed is being detoothed. There's reasons why the treasuries are involved in all of this. There's reasons for it all. And it's not for our sake. That's for sure. And there's a lot of financial gurus out there that will probably, try and argue technicalities with me, but there's a lot of warning signs out there in the trading markets. And it gets really complicated, and I am definitely not the guy to explain it. I'm learning. I've been seeing warning signs. I told everybody that there was OTC trades going on a year and a half, 2 years ago. Look what's going on with Bitcoin. Something's going on. The number's not moving, but they're selling billions of dollars worth of Bitcoin. I'm watching it. And nobody knew. And it took about 6 months, 4, 5, 6 months before anybody realized that, oh shit, BlackRock now has all their Bitcoin. They did it all behind in the guise of night. And before we knew it, all these people owned the Bitcoin. And it didn't even affect the market until everybody realized what was going on. And then it caused a run. And that's why Bitcoin ran, after everybody realized that these big money houses had the Bitcoin. So they started buying Bitcoin and moved the price up. And the retail investors have not really jumped in yet. Retail is racked right now. They're freaking floundering out there. People are hurting. It's not easy. This whole space is wrecked right now. I don't know anybody out there who's fucking singing Kumbaya. Nobody. But there are some people getting ready to get really, really rich. And you've got now with this whole stablecoin thing that they've put together that isn't in place yet. It's I think January it really launches. But the writing's on the wall. It's all it's all in stone. Here's when it launches, and they're all set up and poised and ready to go. And when the stablecoin market and they start switching over to use crypto, centralized crypto, mind you, don't forget everybody. It's not what we're rooting for. It's their centralized version of what crypto is. We basically said no CBDCs, but they, no, we don't want any government control over CBDCs, and now the CBDC control is over your banks. Your banks have it. The money houses have it. They've all got control of their own CBDCs now. That's what the stablecoin market is going to be, is CBDCs. Now, there's some very interesting technologies out there that allow stablecoins to do some really cool stuff. Now, if DeFi gets a hold of that, then we might have something really, really nice. But for now, again, I've been warning about the big war that's coming, about the big battle that's coming, and it's here. It's at our doorstep. And our little DeFi space is poised to be beaten down. It's poised to be ran out of the shop. And
Right.
we can't allow that to happen. We have to be loud. We have to be the voice. It's going to take people. It's going to take masses. It's going to take all of us getting out there and yelling, screaming, shouting, and showing them who we are. Regular people, like regular people, not bankers, not Fed chairmen, not presidents, not freaking, leaders of countries, none of that stuff. It's got to be us people, being the ones who champion DeFi. That's what's got to happen. And we've all got to start getting loud. We've all got to start marketing. We've all got to get out there and get the word out. That's
So, Captain, speaking of marketing, it seems like if Pulse Chain launched earlier, right, which it probably could have, Richard Hart probably would have been in massive trouble, because look what they were doing to CEOs under Gary Gensler. They were just brutalizing them, taking them down, fining them, jailing them. So even if we wanted Pulse Chain to launch sooner, it's not the right time. And would you agree it's probably not the right time for us to stick our heads up like the last discussion we had, because it's just going to get blown out of the water because it's just not the right time yet? What do you think?
I'd love to answer that. Let me bring Taurus up. He's sitting in the green room. What's happening, Taurus? How you doing?
Hey, howdy, guys. What's going on?
Not much. I'm going to answer the question here. You know what? It is time for us to make hay. It's time for us to get our head up out of the hole. Yes, it's time. Look, and Richard does what Richard does. When he launches his projects, he launches his projects. He puts out what he puts out when it's ready. And, I don't think there's a whole bunch of, timing or I don't know what's in the man's mind or what his strategies are, but we launched and they came at us, and they came at us hard, and they took us to court, and we beat them. We beat them. And that was all of us. It was all of us being loud. It was Richard bringing good lawyers to the table. It was them screwing up, and they came at the wrong people. They tried. We were always on the right side of history. We were always on the level. Richard Hart has never done anything in this ecosystem, in the things that he's built, wrong. He's never done it outside of the law. He's done everything possible to follow the laws and put out a good product. He didn't put his thumb in their eye and say, screw you, I'm going to launch this thing. No, he was very calculated, very careful, very, very cautious about how he rolled everything out, how he did everything. And when they did try to scrutinize it, we beat them. Over 60 Hexicans showed up at court. The best lawyers in the world showed up at court. And the judge looked at all of it. We have an amicus brief with, 40-something thousand signatures on it. People were fighting for it. And when it all came out in the wash, legally, Hex, Pulse Chain, PulseX, and Richard won. And so did we. So, no, I think that there is no time is better than now for us to stick our head up and start fighting for this thing. Because, look, I've been subpoenaed 5 times. I've had 5 subpoenas show up at my doorstep. And I didn't stop. I've never done anything wrong. I've taken care of all my business in a proper manner. I know Richard has, and that's why I'm still here. And that's why I'm not running scared. We've done it right. And the law has proven it. So no, we've got to get our asses out there and continue and take all of that equity that we've got and go and throw it in everybody's face. We got to show them that we got something good here, that we're behind something good. And we've got to be more proud about that. We've got to quit bitching, whining, moaning, and complaining about things because we don't like what the economy and the price charts in crypto are doing. And we've got to go show people what a better thing is. When they see a community just whining and complaining and bitching at the founder, that's not helping any. That's not showing people what this is all about. That's what we need to do. And I don't know when we're gonna start, when more people are gonna jump on board. I mean, we have a few streamers out there that are working on it, but gosh, man, Twitter is a cesspool, and it's not helping us any.
Yeah, you make a good point. The fact that we beat the SEC, it's such a big talking point that
it's monster.
Not 99% of coins can't say.
No. And Richard isn't in an orange jumpsuit. And there's a whole bunch of founders that said he was going to jail, that they're the ones with the orange jumpsuits on.
Are you using your 56K modem?
Why? Am I?
No, Taurus. It's so laggy. It's like I'm just making a joke. It's really,
Taurus,
it's really choppy.
You are laggy. But that's a beautiful background. That's for sure.
I'll check that out.
So on privacy stuff, did you see that Ethereum had a DEF CON a few weeks ago, and they had what do you call it? What's that privacy protocol? Railgun. That's it. Railgun Railway. They had a presentation there where they were able to use hardware wallets, in this case a Trezor, to do multi-sig and what do you call it? Not have to create a separate seed phrase in the Railgun or Railway wallet. You can just hook up your Trezor, and you'll be able to. They had that demo there. You'll be able to use that to have your ZK address. And also, I found out they have a hackathon at these DEF CONs, and someone was able to get the same thing working for a Ledger. So it might be, once they finish the Kohaku project, or Kohaku, whatever it is, their privacy wallet thing. You'll just have your hardware wallet. You won't have to create a separate seed, and you'll have the security associated with the hardware wallet. And as a result, you'll be able to, once that thing gets live, and you can imagine that would be easy to just change the RPC and use it for a pulse chain as well. That'll be interesting.
Yeah, and that's one of the things that Richard checkmated too, was by forking Ethereum, he gets to use their dev work. And they've put out good product, and they've a lot. Well, they don't allow it, but it's been the things that are good on Ethereum are working good on Pulse Chain. So, way to go. Let's see what the chat room has got going on. We got Melv Tony back in. Thanks, Melv. What's happening, bro? Got the P Hex. We got. Look how close. Look at that. Look at that. Look at that. Yeah. Wait. Are you showing me? Is that a flippening right there, Melv Tony? Is that a flippening? Or that's a flippening, isn't it? Does it show P Hex or no P Hex? E Hex is 01 and P Hex is 003. I'm reading it wrong. There you go. Yeah. Getting close. Where's my P Hexers at? Said E Hex was dead. Oh my gosh. Well, yep. Good to see you, Mel. Interesting. The things are happening that we thought were going to happen. PX all the way. Yeah. Hey, what's up, Katie? I like both hexes. We all like both hexes. Richard likes both hexes. I think that E-Hex is the calling card for Hex. People are on Ethereum. People use crypto on Ethereum, and bridging is hard, and bridging is difficult. Bridging is risky, and bridging is scary for a lot of users that haven't done so, so I think that eHex is that calling card that's going to bring more people to Hex, and other things. I think that there's things like stable coins and stuff that are going to be cross chain that are going to make things really simple for folks. We might even get rid of bridging. Who knows? Who knows? No, I read it wrong. I was like, wait, did we just flip? Did eHex flip pHex? No, it didn't. It was I was reading it backwards. But yeah, it looks good. Still, I mean, wow, how close is that, right? How close is that? Hey, one of you whales out there, go ahead and switch that over for me, would you? I'd appreciate it. Love to have some bragging rights. But they're getting close to parity right now. So did I answer your question, Street? Did I answer that for you?
Oh yeah, absolutely. In fact, I love it when you opine, when you really go deep into, the war that's coming or the war that has started. The only thing now is, I think the Pulse chain community, they might be grumbling amongst themselves instead of like really getting into the ecosystem more. I really like the PRC20s. I don't think we talk about it enough. I just get tickled when I think about coins that are on Ethereum that are like pennies on Pulse chain. I'm even giggling when I think about it. It's, to me, that's the biggest sell to me for Pulse chain are the PRC20s. That's just my humble opinion, and I'd love to hear you guys talk about that. That's my perspective.
Let's see. And the description is not right. It's the one from last week. So you might want to put it in chat again. Oh, okay. I'll throw that in chat. We might have the wrong link out there, folks. So if you've been trying to get in.
Yeah, it is the wrong one.
Yeah, I had the same problem too.
Okay. Yeah, she's a little under the weather. She's been working her tail off over there at the Hive, and she has run herself down into soup and vitamin C, and so we've been without SJ for a little bit for the last few days, but she's good. Thank you, SJ. We're good. I'll put the link in there again for everyone. She's probably on her phone. So.
Oh yeah, Captain. Really quick about marketing. Yeah. I'm not strong in marketing, but I have some knowledge of it. And it seems to me that in terms of mind share and how we're going about it, we haven't really seen a consultant, like a high-end level consultant, where they have like a systematic rollout with just like a movie, like coming soon and the whole like 3-course meal. It doesn't seem like we're like ants. We're decentralized in the way we market, and I think that's cool. And I could be wrong, but I think it's by design. The fact that we're all doing like our own thing and it's hodgepodge, it's like very grassroots, and perhaps that's good. But I think if we're really trying to target a particular audience, if we have this decentralized approach, like we're just scattered ants, because even ants work in a little more, concert with each other. It seems to me that we're not seeking consultants on how to really get mind share. And so we could be twiddling our thumbs, and maybe that's by design. Can you just talk a little bit about that? The fact that we're not seeking consultants, we're not at least, like when I go to the dealership, I've got an old car with 350,000 miles. I'll at least take it to the dealer to get a good diagnosis, and then I'll take it to my buddy to get it fixed. Why aren't we doing that in terms of our marketing strategy? Why aren't we going to a high level, consultant and then doing like a ghetto version of it, if you know what I mean?
So in my opinion, I don't think that the high level traditional marketing works for crypto. You see crypto.com and the arenas and all over the UFC fights and everything else. I don't think people are clicking on the links because they're seeing that high dollar marketing stuff. You don't see commercials. It's crypto. First of all, it's a story needs to be told, and most people who get into crypto don't do it alone. It's if it's new to you, even people I know, young people that are tech savvy that don't know crypto are even iffy or scared about it. And it takes a handhold. It takes a community. It takes, people to tell that story, and help onboard folks. And it's word of mouth advertising. And it's the best kind of advertising. I always kind of explain it like this, like you're bombarded all day long. You wake up in the morning, you watch the TV, and you get a Domino's commercial. You get one in the mail. It's sitting on your counter. You're driving down, the freeway going to work, and you hear it on your stream, your podcast, Domino, all day long. You and your buddy get home watching the basketball game. Hey, let's get some pizza. Well, hey, I got this Domino's thing here. Well, Domino's sucks, man. Let's get, round table pizza. Round table rocks. Okay, let's go get some round table pizza. So you got marketed to all day long, but you listen to your buddy. You listen to your friend. You were there because somebody influenced you that way. And that's kind of what crypto's like, because time and time again, look, in my circle of friends and family and people, I am the crypto guru. Like, hey, ask RG. So my phone rings, and what's the first thing they ask me? Hey, what's this pancake swap, or what's SHIB, or should I get some XRP? They know who I am and what I do, but their first question is because somebody else told them that XRP is going to do this and this and that. And boom, they're hitting me up, asking me about XRP. And they know that's not what I do. And they know that that's not what I'm going to give an answer to, but yet they still do it. Why? Because they were influenced by somebody. And then I've got to turn them around, talk to them about what, is real, what is right, what is good, what is working. And boom, it's all about a story being told. And it's going to take all of us getting louder and louder and stronger and more and more. And yeah, we're going to have little marketing, techniques and things that we're going to do, and getting the word out and trying to measure these things, like with these tablets that are going out. And it's just sparking people's interest to get that conversation going and have a community there with open arms and good information to help onboard folks. It's word of mouth. That's how we've got to do it. It's not easy marketing, especially with all the noise that's out there, especially with the markets the way they are. And especially with, what we've seen here and all the gatekeeping, all of the things that we've had to go up against, have made it difficult for us to do that. And on top of it, it's divided the community. People have over leveraged and hurt themselves and gotten sour and blamed it on Richard, blamed it on the coins, blamed it on the technology. But let's face it, there is no better DeFi platform out there than what Richard's brought, and continues.
Absolutely.
And continues. He's continuing. And I don't think he's buying time. I think that he's launching the things as necessary and bringing things to the table as necessary. And I don't think he's afraid of anything either, especially after his win against the SEC. I think that he's ready to keep moving forward and keep putting good stuff out.
I do have a question though. If like a surgeon doesn't know necessarily the ins and outs of basketball, or a chef doesn't know about surgery, but there are some cross similarities in terms of process. But do you think if we have a certain mindset on our marketing that we could be missing out? For example, if I imagine, how did Ethereum become popular? Was it by word of mouth? When I think about Bitcoin, was it word of mouth? And if we could just get some research on this institution, because I don't know if we can approach an apples to orange or just like a cookie cutter. Let's just do grassroots. Because for me, I'm an underdog now. I've lost all credibility with my loved ones. I'm like a crackhead right now. And you know, it's kind of funny because if there's like a financial discussion and I start talking, first of all, I'm talking over their heads. And then the chart looks like it's down. So it's like I'm this wonky creature. It's like I'm a wonky creature when I talk to them. So I don't know. What do you think about that? If we do word of mouth and we can't explain things as well as we'd like, and we show people videos, it's like, oh yeah, dude, I'll get to it. I just feel like an underdog. And I feel like perhaps we might need to just reassess and see, how did Ethereum make it? How did Bitcoin make it? And how do we replicate, you know, yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, no, it's the underdogs and the misfits that change the world, man. And I've always been an underdog. I've always been the beaten down. And I guess I like being there because I know that what I'm doing is right. And the space that we're in, the times that we're in this space, the things, the entities, the powers, the people that we're going up against this is the most daunting and difficult task that anybody has ever tried to take on. The people that we're going up against, the entities that we're going up against, have all the money in the world. They have all the voice in the world. They have all the power in the world. And we're still here. We're still moving. We're still shaking. We're still going. We're still winning little battles, little battles, little battles. And that's what it takes to win a war. Because here's the thing. We are going to be so strong and so solid and so backed that when they finally do screw that whole thing up over there, which it's set up for disaster, it's set up to make a lot of wealthy people much, much wealthier. Once that's seen, once all of the covers have been pulled on this thing, we will be standing there when the smoke clears. And while everybody was out there screwing around and messing around and promoting all that bullshit, we will be the ones that were on the right side of history. And win, lose, or draw, I want to be on the right side of history. And I know I am. I know this is what crypto was supposed to look like. I know this is what we were supposed to have to give to the world. I know that, you know, in the early days when there was no Ethereum, when it was just Bitcoin, when that's all I could buy, that this is what it was supposed to look like. This is what the future of crypto was supposed to look like. These were the tools that were supposed to come out. These were the things that were supposed to be handed to us. As we talked over and over and over again about all of these things coming to fruition, they all went backwards and continue to go backwards. And everything that they stood behind and stood for in the beginning, they all gave up. They all gave it up to go chase dollars. They all gave it up because people were handing them money to go and promote this and promote that and screw people over in this trading deal and this trading thing and get this trading platform and learn how to trade like a winner. And all of those people are gone. Of course, new ones have filled the gap, and they're continued to talk out the side of their fucking necks and wreck people and not teach them about true DeFi because they're being told not to. That's the one beautiful thing I have here, is that nobody pays me to do this. I am beholden to nobody. Nobody tells me what I can and cannot say. Nobody tells me what I should and should not promote. Nobody. Not even the SEC when they tried to. And that's where I want to be, because I know this is the right thing. And we're still here after all these years and all the beatdown that we've got inside and outside of this community, inside and outside of crypto. We're still here and we're still doing it. And so I know we're on the right side. I know it.
Well, and Hex did that 10,000x by word of mouth.
Exactly.
But you are talking about brand awareness, and there is a thing about when your friend mentions a brand to you and you've already seen it a couple of times, maybe on your Instagram or your social media that you're scrolling, and you're like, oh, I've seen that. And I think that's kind of what we're missing, is that big brand awareness.
Well, when I go to these events, outside crypto events, which lately we're not as much as a pariah as we were in the past. Like there was people like want to fight me, like, argue with me, at these Bitcoin events and regular, just general blockchain events. Now it's open arms. Oh yeah, I've heard of it. Yeah, I know who Richard is. Yeah. How's that? How's everything going there? And I don't know much about it. Tell me what Hex really is. I'm getting that. So we have made some outreach. We have, and and like today, you saw there was a Reddit post. Somebody going, hey, anybody got to get it their scam tablet in the mail? Another one of those. And, and of course she got all the comments that she deserved. The Hexicans jumped in there and started letting her know what she had in her hand, hey, one of those tablets sold for $1,600 on eBay. Yeah, we're getting the word out, and it's going to take longer. It's going to take more. But here's the thing I've always said is that, like when I became more successful in crypto, it was, people in my family like, oh yeah, RG's a overnight success, overnight success. I'm working my whole life to try and succeed. I'm 58 years old. I've been working my whole life to try and succeed. I got into crypto in 2014 and been busting my ass in crypto to try and figure it out. In this ecosystem, when I found something good, I worked my ass off. I have not stopped for the whole 6 years that I've been here. Have not stopped. I've traveled the world. I spent 3 years on the road. I've made a movie. I've been streaming forever. I've never stopped. I've continued to back up Richard and his products and what he's done, and continued to speak about true DeFi, and ain't quitting. I wasn't an overnight success. I put work and effort into this to have what I have and to be where I'm at. And more people need to do that. Go put your time in, go continue to do stuff, or really support the people that are, and continue to onboard and continue to tell people about true DeFi and what these tools really mean. Learn how to speak about them in layman's terms to your friends. Everybody comes to me usually and they say, hey, RG, can you, talk to this person for me? Or, hey, can you talk to my buddy for me about this or that or the other? And it's like, yeah, I don't have a problem doing that, but you should be learning how to do this yourself. You should be understanding what's going on here yourself, so that you can do that, so that you can, bring them in. Well, I'm not as confident as you are in it. Well, you would be if you put in the work. I'm a Gen Xer, man. I didn't have cell phones. I didn't have none of that shit. I learned all of this stuff from all you guys, through osmosis, sitting in this chair on my ass and, learning it from you guys. That's how I learned this shit. Most people my age, they don't get it. They don't get this that easy. And, it's up to us to learn, get enough knowledge to go out there and speak confidently about what we have. Nobody out there in none of these crypto events or anything can hold a water to me. I mean, they can't. They can sit there and try and tell me about this, that, and the other. And then, of course, come up with their stupid narratives about what Richard's done and what Richard's products are and how this and that. And I could flip it on a freaking dime and tell them they're wrong and show them that they're wrong. Easy. It's easy to do. Once you understand and you get enough confidence, then you can start telling that story. And
most of the time, those people haven't done their own research, right? They just heard something.
Of course not. They just heard something. And usually it's scam, number go down, things don't work, whatever it is. And it's like, no, It's not a scam. Richard hasn't scammed anybody. He's never even given anybody a bad deal. You know, he's been trying to make the world a better place through crypto. This is his thing. This is what he does, and this is what he does better than anybody else out there. This is what he does with more integrity than anybody else out there. You know, Richard cares.
Well,
He really does. He's trying to put good products out, and he's worked real hard in doing so over the years, and he doesn't get enough credit for that. You know, especially in the greater crypto space, and for people in this space to be complaining, geez, that's really bad.
So I work in traditional finance as a recruiter, right? I would go to job fairs and I would talk to the kids graduating, business admin majors, economic majors, accounting majors. And I would say to them, what do you think about crypto? And these folks are 20, 21, 22, 23, and they're telling me they're not messing with it. I'm sure the narrative has changed a bit. So there's a couple of barriers to entry. They've seen all the stuff on the news. So I do think we do need a cataclysmic event to force people into crypto. And I think if you look at anything, whether it's a mom and pop shop or a large firm, typically they make their notoriety because something falls in their lap. Like maybe the lawyers for like OJ. I never heard of Johnny Cochran until he became OJ's lawyer. Sometimes it takes something really negative to create notoriety. That's what I'm thinking Pulse Chain needs, but well, I speak as a fool here.
One of the other things that I was trying to get at when I was talking about the overnight success deal is that there's a book out there called 3 Feet from Gold. And it's like, don't quit, you know, because there's, you know, a story about this guy, he buys a mine, he's mining and he's doing it for years, and he's just freaking done with it, man. He's just like, I've had it. There's supposed to be this big gold reserve here, this gold deposit here, and I never found it. He quits and sells it. A guy comes in who bought it and digs 3 feet, and he hits that big gold ore. And what we have to do is keep going, keep trying things, keep fighting, because we're going to have a viral moment. There's going to be a viral moment. You know, somebody's going to step in, something's going to happen, and we're going to have that cataclysmic event, whether it be, you know, centralization turning upside down and really screwing itself over, or something one of us does that goes viral. And it's not, you know, a viral moment like the freaking Haktua girl, right? I mean, it's just post after post after post after, you know, things said before somebody says something that's so interesting that even though that was a split second, it was the fact that there was so much talking and stuff going on and posting going on that eventually there was going to be something that was just going to pop, you know, and that's what a viral moment is. And that's what happens here in this type of marketing situation, is you end up with some type of, you know, viral moment. And it might not be the thing that takes it all the way. And of course your marketing and everything else that you're putting in place just gets enhanced by it. But it takes things like that, you know, like little bursts of ether in the carburetor to make the engine fire, you know. We're going to have little viral moments like that. We're going to have streamers that come in and just tear it up, you know, and that's what we got to keep doing. We just got to keep throwing stuff at the wall, seeing, you know, what's going to stick.
Yeah, it's funny. You were talking about earlier where your friends, they know like where your position is on crypto, but then they want to ask you about this other coin and some other ecosystem. And you're just like, it's so funny, man. When I've had it happen so many times too. And I just laugh. I'm like, I just look at them like they're stupid. I'm like, you know what I'm going to tell you? Like, why are you even asking me about this coin?
Yeah. You know, I've gotten better in my approach to them and how I speak to those folks, of course, you know, and I tell them the story about the thing that they're talking about and who's running, who's involved in it and what's involved here and what crypto is supposed to mean. You know, you just got to tell that old story about what it's supposed to mean. It's like This is supposed to be the people's money, the people's finance system, owned by us, for us, and done by us, and when you look at all those other things, that's not what it was supposed to be. It wasn't supposed to have middlemen. All you're doing is swapping middlemen. That's it. And that's what they've done to the greater crypto space, is they've just swapped middlemen now. And this whole stablecoin thing, it just baffles me that people aren't seeing it, that crypto space isn't talking about it more. They are all so happy about it and not seeing the writing on the wall and what's going on, So, we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. But, we here in this ecosystem, we just need to keep getting louder, keep talking, keep moving forward, know what we have in our hands. You just got to know what you have and walk around with that confidence, and I know it's hard when your bags are deflated. It's not easy to feel confident when your bags are deflated. Look, guys, in the last few months, my values, been cut in half, just like all of yours. I'm not in a different boat. I'm not. I don't like it either. It doesn't look good to me either. It hurts. It's ugly. I can sit here and cry about it all day long. But price be damned. This is about making the world a better place and putting systems and tools in place for human beings to go out and make the world a better place. And just because we're getting beat by the wailing last throes of the centralized agencies and organizations out there who want to get their hands on this thing, they're falling off the cliff. They're slipping, they're grabbing, they're trying to hold on. That's what's going on here. They're trying to grasp something that isn't what it was supposed to be. They think they're taking over crypto, and all they're doing is picking up all the shit that's left over. This is the real deal. And they weren't supposed to own it. They weren't supposed to have it. We, the people, were supposed to have it. Us normal folks, us blue collar workers, us, basement dwellers. We were the ones that were supposed to have this, not them. And they've tried to take it from us. And what they took was the garbage. We have the real tools here. That's what we have. And we just got to realize that and just wait for them to finally, after their last death throes, go away and die and end it, because it's not going to end well. That whole thing is not going to end well. What they are doing is not going to end well. It is going to make a mess, and they have already made a mess out of it.
Well said.
For the tablets, I was wondering, have you guys tried, those services that do mail marketing, and to see if their analytics are more useful than what you guys have for analytics?
Yeah, we've done a lot of research on all of that. We've had meetings and talked ad nauseum about all the different distribution models. We're always up for suggestions. Everybody throwing stuff in is always, helpful. Usually, like Richard would say, usually not. Usually ideas suck. But there are things that are working. There are things that are, the first round of this thing, we got our asses handed to us in trying to get these things out. We sent over 100,000 of them out. And, that's by hand carting those things to the post office, unloading them off out of the sea container, putting them in a warehouse, making labels, putting labels on them, doing the whole thing, man. We busted our humps, and, we didn't get good data. We didn't get green candles. It didn't fall where we wanted it to fall. That doesn't mean we failed. That just means we failed forward. We pick ourselves back up, dust ourselves off, and move on to the next thing and try and keep going. These devices are, when you run through AI on how good these things are for marketing, they really really do work well. They message well, and so it's just about distribution and getting the marketing out there and doing more of it and becoming better and seeing what works and what doesn't work and getting data and getting ideas and moving forward. And we're working on it every day. Every day we're working on it. We're improving things. We're trying this, we're trying that. So it's somebody said I'd buy one on Amazon. Well, very good. So there's a lot going into it, and the community's input is always welcome. And trust me, we're looking for as many verticals that we can find to get these things out and to get the word out and to continue. We're going to start streaming from the Hive itself, and bringing volunteers up and talking and doing stuff and showing people what we're doing, and talking about DeFi, and anybody can show me any other true DeFi out there, and we'll talk about that too. But at this point, this is what the foundation sees as true DeFi. There's no entity in charge of it. It's totally decentralized. There is no, you cannot pay somebody to let you on Pulse Chain. It's you can use it. It's DeFi. There's no fees. There's no hidden fees to get involved and all that kind of stuff. So the other stuff is middlemen and centralization.
Yeah, we're certainly growing. I've noticed that we don't talk about green candles and numbers as much as changing the way we finance. And I think that's super important. I think a lot of us in the community, we were very focused on getting rich and wealthy. And if I'm listening to you well, it's like a war cry. And sometimes you get the goosebumps because you're speaking really about things that are beyond just, physical gain, but more so about the way things ought to be. And I hope that we continue this narrative than to keep thinking about like charts and gains, because personally, that's very superficial. And I think that's why the community is overreacting, because they have their own timetable of when they should have expected wealth. And they're not mature in that sense. I think we all need to grow in terms of how we view wealth. Because I heard Richard say we've won. And I really just keep saying that to myself. We've won. Because I think we did win,
We did. We beat the whole crypto space as far as the products that we've stood behind. Richard has beat him by the products that he's developed. We won. Now, are we standing on the podium on the top with a gold medal around our neck? No, we're not. Why? Because this marketplace judges by price, and it wants to see more green candles. But green candles and the money is a byproduct of going out and doing the right thing. If you go out and do the right thing, and by the time people realize and recognize what is going on and are finally looking for real crypto, for DeFi, it'll get its props. That's when things will go down in history as those were the guys that were fighting from the beginning to do it the right way. Those are the guys that nobody paid to go out and promote and do the things that they've done, and that's commendable. And that's what's going to be the big story when it's all said and done. That's going to be the story. All of you out there that have helped to market this thing are the ones that are going to be the story.
Thanks for your time, Captain. I always enjoy listening to your program.
Thank you. I appreciate you coming on. All right, everybody. Well, we've been going for an hour. I don't like running these things more than an hour anymore. Anybody got any last words? We went a whole stream without talking about health, Max. How you doing?
Well, I mean, we can talk about health now if you want.
No, I gotta spend a couple minutes with my kids. My kids all went to the movies and they're coming back right now, so I'm gonna go hang out with them and spend some family time. and call it a night. Everybody, Taurus, thanks for coming, man.
Yeah, appreciate you having us out here. Appreciate all the work you're doing out there, and everybody keep your head up. Good times ahead.
You got it. You got it. All right, everybody. Thanks for coming. We'll catch you on the next one. See you next Friday. Maybe even before if we get the studio set up on time. We'll see you. Have a good one.